Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. I hope everybody is well. What's going on? It's Sunday, August 1st. Trying to get the chat to go. There we go. Hi, Pallavi. If you want to be added, you just have to go to purchase a reading through PayPal. It's KK's here. She's got the link. She's a rock star. Please be respectful. Y'all are really mostly respectful. And the ones that aren't, well, we just boot you out of here, right? So what's going on? Has everybody had a good week? Do you ever get like stuck in those like Instagram-y things, like where it's like, I know I got into this I got like one thing about ADD came up, and then like all these things, and I was like, oh my God, I might be undiagnosed ADD. I'm not kidding. I'm like considering going to get looked at about it. Not that I want to be on medications. There's some great, I found a woman out of Canada who does some coaching, like helping you be more organized and stuff, which I think I might really benefit from. I can hyper focus like for hours on certain things, and other things are like crazy procrastination, like almost being frozen. It's nuts. So I'm thinking I might benefit. So other than that, I hope everybody is well. We'll get through these hopefully pretty quick today. I've got a little bit of stuff on my plate outside of this that I need to focus on. Okay. Announcements. Let's see. I'm going to be opening up more psychic development circles in September. We're going to be finishing one of my circles will finish this Thursday, and my other circle will finish next Tuesday. I'm getting really great feedback from the people that are a part of it. They're really enjoying it. I'm not so my teaching comes more as an interactive teaching rather than as me just sitting and lecturing you. And guiding you, so you're going to actually kind of jump right in and start connecting in with your own intuition. I think it's reasonably priced. It's $120 for all 6 weeks. So that's $20 a session, and they last anywhere. It's funny. My goal is for them to last hour 15 to hour and a half at most. I really like the hour and 15-minute one, but anytime we felt like we've gone over a little bit, everybody's like totally excited about staying, and they're great about it. It doesn't feel like anybody's like, look on my website for those. I've got a link in the description to that page, although it says for July 1st, that's when they first started, but keep an eye out. I'll start opening those up within the next week or two. I'll get those posted. If you'd like a private reading, you can find that also on my website. The link is also below. I will say this, private readings are private. I don't do joint readings. So because I'm not like the Long Island medium, a lot of people who want mediumship, they're like, oh, I want to read with like 15 other people. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do that, because I'm directly connecting in with your energy. It's a little different than the way I do the readings here. And so it's really hard for me to focus and to delineate between the two different people. So it's just a lot, and it's overwhelming. And so like someone wanted to do a joint reading and purchase 1 hour reading. I was like, they're two separate. You got to do them separately if you want them. And that's come up before. So clarifying that here. I don't know if anybody has any questions other than like just about those two things, post them in the chat. I hope everybody's well. Let's get started. Albert, are you here today? Excuse me. I haven't seen you in a while, so it'll be nice to connect in with you. I hope you're here. I kind of wanted to do the interactive, so if you, maybe I'll come back to you. So I've got Albert, Linda, Lana, and Devery, if you guys want to post your questions. Hi, Christy. I've got you added. So I need to add, after Devery is Amy R, Tabitha W, Nicole R, Christy K, and Emily F. Okie dokie. Hi, Dan. Thank you. Okay. All right, let's skedaddle. All right, so Miss Linda, you're up. Lana, you're up. Okay. Where'd my rock go? There it is. Okay. Okay, let's go. So Linda, what? You're currently single. Any future romance coming in? Sorry, my neck has been lately. So what they're saying to me is that in 3 months time, there's a shift for you. They're sort of making me feel like you're like, as much as people ask, oh, I want a relationship, or they're asking about these things, there's still like this internal block that they have towards being vulnerable. And so it's like there's like this push pull energy of like, I want one, but then like I start racing through my head about, it's like past events, push pull, like not wanting to make the same mistakes, hyper controlling what you want this person to be like, and so it's like you throw some requests out there, but then you focus on the negative that you've had in the past, and so it's like this push pull of the energy of trying to get what you want. Does this resonate at all, Linda? And they're making me feel like you need to really just take a deep breath and connect in with what it is that you really desire. Stop looking at the past. Stop. They're saying forgive yourself. So forgive yourself of past mistakes, both on who you choose and also your own behaviors, right? That it's sort of like you aren't the same person that you used to be. I was listening to this Wayne Dyer. Was I listening to it? No, I was reading his. And he's talking about, like, in quantum physics, like, you're not the same person that you were when you first started watching me right here, right now. Like, we're constantly ever changing. And so if you constantly hold this vision of who you were and beating yourself up and reliving those moments, you're not allowing yourself to move forward and be the person that you actually are today. We're ever changing, and we as humans tend to hold ourselves to the past and to the people that we used to be. So it's sort of like you really do, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And I'm guilty of this. We're all guilty of this. I grew up with somebody who he got into drug, like, trouble selling, like, big time drugs, to like jail time and stuff. And he's like, and I remember having a conversation with him where he was like, well, but I used to be. And I'm like, but you're not anymore. So we need to stop that. So yes, you made those mistakes. Yes, you chose crappy partners. Yes, your coping mechanisms were like, less than emotionally evolved. It felt like fear of abandonment issues, things like that, and like hyper controlling. And they're sort of saying, like, yeah, and you're aware of it, you recognize it, it's okay to move beyond it now. So what? We've all done stupid things in our own growth process. We've all done emotionally immature things in our own growth process. That's part of growing. That's part of ascension. Like, so if you don't recognize that, you're stopping that process of somebody coming in that you really deserve to have, and that quality person that you really deserve to have. Thank you. I try to be plugged in. That is always my focus, my goal, like my intentions that I set, that I'm connected in. And so in 3 months, it feels like there's this shift that happens where it's like an aha moment where, we all kind of go through those in our growth processes where it's like, we logically know the information, we logically get it. And then something happens and it really clicks and it's like, oh, that's what that means. So trying to think of one I had recently where I was like, it'll come to me in a minute and I'll like jut in with it. But it's like, I know what it was. Okay. So when I was 13, and I think I've told this before, maybe I walked into the chapel, which is the smaller part of the church that my father and stepmother belonged to. It was an Episcopal church, laid back Catholic. And like 12 people, women, were praying. And they all had these, like lace little, I call them like, I don't know, shawls, doilies, whatever. There's some appropriate name for it that I don't know. And so like, whatever. That's what they kind of looked like to me. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's the best way for me to describe it. And they were praying and I literally heard, and what's crazy is I never thought, oh, I'm crazy, or whose voice is that, or who's talking to me. I was just like, oh yeah, I literally heard outside of my head, and there was no one standing around me that would have said this. And it was, they are missing what God is entirely. And I sort of always understood that they were getting God not being love, or there being some sort of punishment. And I don't even necessarily believe in karma, but like karmic, like if I don't follow this to a T, then, it's about more of a fear-based following than what it really is. But then I had this like really crazy aha moment recently where it was more about understanding God is really within, and the understanding the spark of light that we all carry, and that we truly are, if we are a part of God, right? We're all a part of a whole, and we're all one. And we're, as they say, like if you take a bucket of water out of the ocean, that bucket of water is still the ocean. It's just not in the ocean, right? And that's sort of how our spirit and our soul is. And so if we're creating through the I am, it was just like really getting how much they're missing, that like, it's not out here. It's not outside of us that our connection with God is. It's just in here. So it was like, we all go through those moments. And it's sort of like you're going to have one of those moments in 3 months, and understanding and forgiving and like moving forward through this growth. And that's when you're going to be ready to start receiving. I don't want to say putting yourself out there, because that's like kind of an automatic. It's when you start to allow yourself to receive new love in your life, and understanding that you are whole and complete on your own, and nothing outside of you will ever draw in happiness. It's just a choice. It's just a choice and a preference. And like, yeah, I think I'll have fun hanging out with you, and you can enjoy all of this wonderful I'm creating, but you aren't the source of that creation, or that person outside of you isn't the source of that creation. They're just there to enjoy it with you. I think that's what's going to happen in 3 months. And then I feel like you're actually going to like really have several options and be like, oh my God. And not like overwhelmed, but like fun, having fun with it again. I hope that is satisfactory. Let me know. Okay. Lana wants to know, what's the outcome of my work issues? I have a big meeting tomorrow. Okay. First of all, this is the manifesting part of it where I want to like kind of focus, because I feel really sure. I don't know what today is just like really irritating me, and normally it doesn't. Do you ever get like weird sensitivity with clothes? That's the other thing where I was like, oh my God. I probably need to go. But I'm just like, this is really irritating me. Sorry. I have a sweater on, might grab it. So it just feels like, sorry, going back to you refocusing. It feels like to me, like the anxiety and like the worry and going over it. And again, we're going to draw back to the manifesting. If you're like hyper focused on all the negative stuff, you're going to draw more of that in. If you're hyper focused on what's a possibility, which I don't believe is going to happen, it's like you need to stabilize. So it's like, I'm safe, I am fine, I create great and wonderful experiences in my life. I literally just heard this one, so I accept the changes that are coming. Oh. I don't know what this meeting is about, so obviously. But it's that feeling of what appears to be like a step down or like appears to be not great initially actually provides like a bigger way for growth. So it felt like going in the, like, you know how right before you start to go up in a roller coaster, it's like there's almost like an extra little dip and then you go up, like you're going and then you take this other little dip, and that's what it feels like. I'm going through this little dip, but then I just shoot to the sky. So it feels like, don't get caught up in it not looking great, and don't be like, oh, like it's not working out. Just trust that it literally, like, everything is working out in my favor. Everything's always falling in line to me. So what is it, that saying, rejection is God's protection? But to me, it looks like it's just, it has to go this way because it shifts your energy and like skyrockets you. Like I had a nursing professor once say to me, because I have shit study skills, by the way, and like the worst study skills, and she was like, maybe you're not supposed to be a nurse. And I needed to hear that because I was like, fuck you. And pardon the language. I don't want to say French because I don't want to blame the French anymore for my potty mouth. Oh, I hate potty, that word. I don't want to blame the French for my colorful vocabulary. But that's how you feel sometimes when you're like, but sometimes you need to hear that outside of you to like push you to be like, nobody's going to tell me no. And it just feels like it's going to feel like a slight, I don't know, I don't want to say demotion, but it's going to feel like a nick at like a kind of like somebody's like taking a nick at you. And then you're going to be like, I'll show you, like, no one's going to place me in that little thing. So when you're in that worried anxiety mode, it's everything's always working out perfectly for me, despite what, like, circumstances don't matter. So even if it looks not like it's not great, it doesn't matter. It's always working out in my favor. Universe always has my back. Just trust that it's always working out and everything's going to like just fly up. So it may not look great. Outcome tomorrow may not look great, but don't get focused on that. Just be like, whatever, because I know this is all working out in my favor and I'm growing and I'm here for growth and I'm here for expansion and increase and abundance, because it just feels like I take off and I do really well. And it doesn't feel like I have this dip and it's like, oh, it's like literally like dip and taking off. So I will leave you with that. And I wish that I could be like really super specific and be like, well, Jim's going to say this. I don't even know who these people are, but like, it doesn't come to me that way. Hi, Caitlin. Albert, are you here? I haven't seen you in a while. I don't know if you're going to be here or if you're going to be live. Devry, do you have any questions? I will try and move through these pretty quickly. I don't want to be here too long tonight or today afternoon. Okay, let's see. Camille is here. I don't know if that's your screen name. You have CC here. Sorry. Will my sisters Nina and Lacey get their child support cases resolved soon? Yes, Caitlin, please do. 30% of all of the proceeds get donated to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Every dollar provides 3 meals there. So it's just like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Everybody should be able to have food on their table, and food scarcity is a real thing, even here in the United States. And a little really goes a long way. So, as you know, like even if you have a full-time job, minimum wage does not, or 2 full-time jobs, minimum wage does not always put food on the table, unfortunately. And the cost of living in some places like New Jersey is insane. All right, Miss Devery, let's roll. Well, my sisters Nina and Lacey get there. Let's look at Nina first. Will Nina get her child? I don't know why, but I feel like Nina's gets dragged out to like all the way out. Like it's like they said, I don't know what they consider their fiscal year, if it's January or what, because it's like I heard Q2, but I saw February, but that would be like, it doesn't make sense. There's something about October and there's something about February. So it's like maybe there's a court date that finally gets scheduled for October, but then there's either delay or more paperwork required, or like a reconvening. But it feels like it's like finally settled around February. Like it takes a while. And let me see your other sister's name. Sorry. Lacey. I feel like Lacey's will be in November. And I actually feel like there's like more disorganization there, but it like gets resolved quicker. So I don't know if they're in different counties or they got different judges, like family judges or something, but it's like hers somehow gets wrapped up quicker. And she feels like she's in more of a pressed situation. Like part of the reason I think Nina's gets dragged out more is also because of the father. And Lacey's feels like, I just felt like this big ball of messy energy. But it feels like she's in more of a financial bind. So like Nina's is more about the dude trying to be really controlling and manipulate in a way. And Lacey's is just a totally different situation. But it feels like hers, she has more of a settled, like November, December, she's more settled. Okay. And question 2, I'm having health issues off and on right now. So I wanted to know what exactly can I do to help to healthy, or should I go to a gym? So like what I'm getting big time is like, I'm like big on macros, right? So that's more about balance. So find a macro app. You can get them for free. You don't have to pay for any of them. Do a free macro app in the phone. And like, you just plug in your weight, your height, like whatever you want. And it just literally feels like track everything. Get a scale, weigh your food, track everything, because we eat more than we realize, because we're like, oh, let's have a little bite of this here, a little bite of that. And like by the end of the day, you've gone over like 300 or 500 calories. The other thing is you may not be eating enough protein, and you may not, it's like sometimes when you drop into a calorie deficit for too long, you end up like kind of screwing your metabolism, and you actually need to come up and eat a little bit more for a while and like reset everything. So instead of being in a deficit, find out what your maintenance mode is and eat your maintenance for a while. You may start losing weight eating more than you had in the past. The other thing I feel like is the gym feels intimidating. And so it's like, just start walking. Just start having like this woman I follow on Instagram. Her name's Beth. And she's like, have a non-negotiable. Like she does a non-negotiable walk. Every day she goes for a walk. And it just feels like, just start simple, but it's really about your food. And it's like, they said to me, food diary, watch what you're eating and like write everything down. But I think go a step further to the macro app. And you don't have to, like in the macro apps, you don't have to calculate anything other than the weight of the food you're having. So it's like, that's where it becomes like, it might be annoying, but eventually you'll start to see like, oh, that's about 4 ounces. Like once you're kind of in more of a, but for like 30 days, weigh your food and measure it. And I think you'll see a drop in feeling better. I do feel short of breath, but I genuinely feel that's inactivity and a little extra weight. And sometimes, and I feel like a little knee achiness, and it feels like literally 5 pounds can make a difference for your knees not to hurt. So it's like, it's not that it's going to be a lot to make a change. It's just, it's also like your self-esteem, like it reboots your self-esteem and you feel better, but it's not about looking a certain way. It's like, they're like sort of looking at like the way, what sort of like kicked me into being focused more on my health. It's not because I want to look a certain way or I want to be a certain weight or I want to, like, I don't even know what weight I want to be. I just want to live a healthy lifestyle because I've been told I'm going to live to be over 100 and I'm going to be healthy then. So if I'm going to be healthy, then I most certainly need to start being healthy now. And it's sort of like that, having that idea. And then this other thing that I like to do is like, that really helped me. They're like, talk about the world. So picture every single cell in your body being a part of the universe of Devry. You guys can all do this. This is really important. So instead of looking at your body and going, oh, I have this extra weight here, or I'd like to get rid of this here, or, I'd like to look more like this. Instead, just imagine every single cell is like a little being and the part of the universe of Devry. And your thoughts and the way you speak to your thoughts are the broadcast system to the universe of Devry. And if you think about the news just in general with the world, like it's very amazing how people react when they watch the news, right? And what they're receiving. So broadcast happy, loving, good, positive thoughts. You're doing a great job. I'm really proud of you. You're looking great. Like, okay, like talk, like, what do they call it? Personify these things and like say like, okay, so like extra fat, you've really helped keep me safe or whatever, because sometimes we put on extra weight as a way to protect ourselves emotionally. You've really helped keep me safe, but I don't need you now because I am strong mentally and I'm ready and I'm courageous. And so now we need you to become fuel for fat, like whatever. Just, it doesn't matter if it's logical or if it fits in with the whole thing. It's just about being positive and reinforcing, and thank your body, because nobody's body is perfect, right? So thank all those little cells for carrying you through and like all of the hardships and all of the amazing things and just carrying your soul through your journey and your experience. That's what I feel. It's like, it's not so much like join a gym, because I feel like that becomes like then this major pressure. It just feels like focus on your diet and just get out there and get moving. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Sabrina, these are, okay. KK covered it. I need to just trust that KK's got my back. And Caitlin, I'll put you on the list. Just hold on a minute. And then we go in order of who's paid when and all of that good stuff. Albert Grass, listen, y'all, I'm making a rule. If you aren't here on the live, I am no longer answering your questions. I'm very serious. This is uncool. I want to have the interaction. And that's that. So Caitlin paid for 2 questions. So I've got her on the list. So this is the last time. Today is the last time. If you aren't here for the live, I will be refunding your money. You are required to be here for the live. So Albert, this is the last time I'm doing this. You haven't showed up in a while, and I'm sorry that I have to be a stickler like this, but really, that's part of the fun of it, right? Getting the feedback and all of that. Because yeah, so if you want a question from now on out, and I'm going to send that out in my newsletter. If you want one of your questions answered, then you need to be present for the live. So I'm going to return your money. That's it. I'm just going to return it. All right. Amy, are you here? Did you find your way into the chat? You did email me and said you weren't sure how to answer this. So Amy R, are you here? Tabitha W and Nicole R. You guys can get your questions answered. How is everybody? I know I've seen a lot of interesting complaints about mask wearing. I have to wear a mask. I have to wear a mask. Well, y'all, because I have 3 little girls that are too young to get vaccinated, and I'm asking you to do your damn part. Wear a mask, because more kids are getting hospitalized, more young people are getting hospitalized, and my kids are unable to get their vaccinations. And I'd really like to not have my healthy children and more people with no underlying medical diagnoses are ending up in the hospital on ventilators, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So wear your damn masks. It's not that hard. It's really not infringing on your rights. Suck it up. All right. Caitlin, I will get to you. You have several people ahead of you, okay? But I promise I'll get to you. Okay, EK Ra. Who did I have you under? Camille, right? Okay, EK Ra. All right, so EK Ra is actually the Camille person. Amy, did you make it here? Let me see if you emailed me. Oh, she only sees a live button. Okay. Amy, are you watching? You're going to click the live button. And then if you're on your phone, underneath, I believe underneath the picture, there's like a little in the center that looks like a square and it'll say chat. If you hover over it, click that. It'll open up to the chat box. And then you just type your question. And if you're on your computer, I don't know, because I don't know if I've watched any live ones from my computer because I'm usually on my phone. Okay. Let's see. So we'll wait for her. Tabitha W. Are you here? Y'all, you have to be present if you want me to answer your questions. Tabitha W, Nicole R, Christy K. These are going to come very short. I'm no longer answering these if you aren't here. Sorry, Emily F. Anybody who's on this list, go ahead and go and ask your question. Caitlin, I'm going to go ahead and answer yours because if people aren't going to jump on and start posting, then we're going to make these real short. I'm a bit stressed lately. This is my first time here. No, I didn't. Nicole, where are you? Where's your question, Nicole? Okay, can I be added to the list? Your question's not on here, Nicole. I don't see it. Oh, just a general. Okay, I'm on the right path or what? Okay. All right, got it. Okay. So a general. My people that are in my circle are learning that generals are not as easy as one would think. So, okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to tell you is that, yes, you're on the right path. We're all sort of always on the right path. So this idea that I've fallen off, you haven't fallen off. Even if it seems like you're not on the right path, you're on the right path. Why? Because you're learning from something all the time, and everything that we do is purposeful. Everything we do is purposeful. There is no one life purpose you have. And that idea sort of just blows my mind because I think, who came up with that? This is your life purpose. What? So the love that you're sharing with this other purpose, this other person, or the kindness that you share there that might have changed that person's life isn't your purpose. You need to focus on trying to find this one thing. It just creates anxiety and a sense of lack, and it's all garbage. You're here to create, and that's everything and anything that you want. That's it. That's what you're supposed to do. So just know that you're always on your life path. But what they're showing me is when I wanted to say a Roomba, but I don't know if Roombas actually get stuck. But like, if you have like something that moves automatically and it hits a wall and it just keeps like hitting the wall, hitting the wall, hitting the wall, hitting the wall. And it's like, there's sort of like you're hyper focusing on what you don't have. Like you have this idea of manifestation. You want to create what you want to create. You're doing your vision boards. You're making your lists. You're like, but you're still focusing on not having it. And so it's like, it's just bringing more of that in. What you believe here has to show up on your 3D. And there's like, stop hyper focusing on it. Like put it out there and go keep yourself busy somewhere else. Like I tell my daughter, when she gets little bouts of anxiety and like, what if I'm going to throw up? I'm like, you don't ever throw up. Like that is not your thing. You're not a thrower up. Or like, why? Well, because one time I'm like, stop it. Like, I am safe. I am secure. I am okay. I got this, like all these positive things. I go do that, breathe, do your breath work, focus on that, and then go find something to keep yourself busy and like not focus on like whatever that is. It's like you have to redirect your brain. And so you're stuck in this worry mode of like, I'm not getting this, I'm not getting this, I'm not getting this. And they're like, trust that it's coming and go find something else to keep yourself busy. Like, it's been extremely helpful for me. Like, even when I go, this is what I find really funny. So I've been like big on creating and building my business, right? More and more clients. I have the affirmation, everybody out that gets a private reading with me always tells everybody else about me, because I used to be in the mode of like, oh, did they like it? Like, I don't know. And I get a lot more positive feedback when I just am positive about it. Like, yeah, of course they like it. Like, and then, it's all about like, I'm always building and growing month to month. So like, I have my spreadsheets that I keep as a way of accounting. And so I have what I have for my last year's financials month to month. And so like every month I'm doing more than I did the same month the previous year. And I was worried in July. I was like, oh, whatever. And then I realized like, no, I'm growing. I'm doing good. Like I was feeling like, because one area wasn't specific, like my circles didn't fill up the way I envisioned them to, but they're perfect. And I'm so glad they are where they are. And the people that are in it, like they're just perfect. But I still made more money in July than I did last year. So like I was hyper focused on one thing because this thing wasn't, but like overall I was doing really good. So it's like, stop hyper focusing on what you don't have, recognize that overall you're doing great, and just move with it and go find something to keep you busy while you're waiting for that man to come in, while you're waiting for that job. Like, cause are you planning on moving jobs? I think you might be moving jobs. Like for that big thing to come in, like just keep yourself busy, go read a book, find a craft, organize your house, like just do anything on a regular basis that you need to do, work out, all of that. Okay. Okay. That was a little bit of a rampage. 4 messages are up. Okay. Let's see. I got Nicole. Caitlin. Okay, hold on. Christy. Do I see you allowing a romantic partner into my life? You're welcome, Nicole. Okay. Christy, do I see you letting a partner into your life? I go, yes, of course you will, but not until December. It's like a Christmas present to yourself. It's interesting because it's not that you're not ready. It's like, they're like, she's being pickier, or maybe you feel like you're being picky, or maybe somebody has told you like, you're too picky. Like and it's like, no, they're called standards, and it's cool to have standards. It's cool to recognize that you're worth more than maybe the quality of men that you have accepted in the past. But it feels like December is when you're like, all right, this is like a present to me. And I don't know, maybe it's a present from the universe, and you recognize that, but it feels like December is when that happens. And it feels like a little out of the blue, like, even if you're on a dating app and you meeting on a dating app, it just still feels like unexpected in a way, which just seems strange because you're on a dating app. So why would that be unexpected? But somehow it feels unexpected. So maybe you're on a date with somebody else and they bring their friend along and that's who you connect with. Oh, wait. EC is Emily F. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see if Amy found her way here yet. Okay. Amy's on and she can't chat. So, okay, this is fine. If you want to respond here on my email, that's fine. I'll deal with that. My daughter's moving. Can you tell me her first name, your daughter's first name? Because I think I recall you having 2 daughters from your reading. You're welcome. Well, and it could also be something like where I'm meeting up with an old friend and it's a roommate of theirs or it's a coworker of theirs that they brought along. It just feels like something unexpected. And it does feel like in a social setting, so it doesn't feel like through work. Okay, great. Thank you. I got it, Amy. So, Jamie. So I feel like initially not. It feels like I literally feel like there might be a plumbing issue where she's moving because I saw like plumbing pipes burst. But so it feels like it's a headache for the first few months and maybe even the first 6 months. I'm like, why did I do this? But then I settle in and it's fine. But it just feels like kind of not great for the first, like okay, but like more stressful maybe than I had hoped for the first 6 months. And then I feel like this is showing me 3 months. And then by 6 months, I'm like, I'm good. I'm settled. And maybe I might complain a little bit about that. Like, oh, can you believe it? Like, there's some people that are just like, will always sort of, but settled and like, feel like, okay, it's like the house is now the way I need it to be. And I feel like everything's okay. So it might be like, maybe there's a leak and then like, they have to replace the drywall and then paint the room. And we weren't planning on this. And it's kind of more of a headache than we wanted in our head. But it'll settle itself out by about 6 months out. Okie dokie. I hope that's helpful. Okay. All right. Let me see. What does she say here? Hang on. Will they get jobs? Yes. I feel like she gets hers first and then he follows shortly after. But I feel like they're cushioned, so they're okay. So it may be that they just don't open up the position for him right away, but I feel like she'll get something first. Okay. All right. Let's moving on to the next person. Let's see. Christy K. Oh, I answered yours. Okay. My name's not Buddy. My name's Annalisa. Okay, so I am kind of big on calling people, like it's respectful until you have a personal relationship with them, to call them by their name rather than nicknames you decide that they should have. So I do always present myself here as Annalisa, and I expect to be called that. Not honey, cupcake, sweetie, love, darling, sugar, or any of those other things. Maybe that's your personality, and so I'm just letting you guys know that that's my boundary. Even when I read for my clients, I do get a name through the email, and I always ask them before we start the reading, is this what you prefer to be called? What do you prefer to be called? I think it's really important to be respectful. Your name is what leads the way in the world, and the energy behind that as well. And it sort of does kind of come off as like condescending, and it becomes a control thing when you continually call somebody by something that they don't like. So, and I have learned to stand in my power instead of getting irritated, just letting you guys know. That's why I'm a stickler for that. Okay, so Tabitha W., are you here? And Caitlin, I know you're here. So wait, let me find your questions, Caitlin. I think you posted. EC. I'll answer yours. Sorry. And Era EK Ra. So wait, hang on. I crossed your names off because I didn't mean to. So I have Tabitha W, EC, EK Ra, and Caitlin. EK Ra wants to know, what advice does the universe have for me? I heard set your goals, like, and stop feeling like it's like set your goals higher than you are, and stop worrying about getting let down or if it's not going to happen. And it's also speak clearly. So it's sort of the idea of, not that I feel like you don't in general, like in real, but it's like when you're setting your goals and you're putting out and manifesting all those things, it's like, be very clear about what your goals are. Be very clear about what it is you want. And don't focus on what you don't want. Focus on what you do want and what you want to happen, and stay clear on that. Keep a clear vision on it and hold that and know that it's happening for you. There are many, many brilliant teachers who have come along the way throughout time who teach the same exact things. They have their own way of explaining it. So sometimes you digest it better with one person than another. They're on YouTube. There's lots of different people I've recommended over time. There's Dylan James, who I really like. There's Roxy Talks. There's Jake Ducey. There's who's that guy? Joseph Ally. They're all great. They all have their own way of doing it. I still think, though, and I want to say this, it's not outside of you. So some people will focus on, I want da 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 da, or like, if you want to change a circumstance, like a person or a relationship, it's like you start saying like, oh, I see them treating me well. Like, no, shift all of this. That's what I like about It's Dylan James. And Wayne Dyer teaches it this way, and Louise Hay teaches it this way, and Florence Scovel Shinn teaches it this way, and Neville Goddard teaches it this way, that you focus on the self first, right? So you focus on your image of yourself first and your belief systems within yourself first. Jesus taught it this way. Buddha sort of lives it this way, where it's nothing is outside of you. Like in Buddhism, they teach you that you find the peace within first, and then everything falls into place outside. It's not the other way around, where you try and line everything up perfectly the way you think it's supposed to be, and then you'll feel totally good with inside. It doesn't work that way. So it's just this feeling of, I get a little tangenty, sorry. It's just this feeling of trying to get myself back into that. Like, pick big goals. Like, stop worrying about that it's not going to happen. If you look at, and also this is a really great way to figure out manifesting and like if it works. Start looking for people who manifest, but it's not their, like, that's not their source of income. So Conor McGregor is a MMA fighter. He does it. Ariana Grande does it. Jim Carrey does it. Will Smith does it. Like, all these people who are visualizing and creating the reality that they want. Like, Jim Carrey has such a beautiful, like, he was like, oh, I just went up in this Hollywood Hills, and I'd be like, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm a billionaire, not billionaire, but I'm a successful actor, or these movies are coming to me. He's like, and I would drive around. He's like, I know I didn't have it yet, but I knew it was out there for me, and it was mine. It's just this idea of like, look at those people and see, so then you can say like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too, because we're all a part of the same big thing. And that's sort of like maybe people don't want you to realize how powerful you are as a human being, either because they don't have that belief system within themselves, or they don't believe enough of themselves, or they're afraid they lose control. And stop thinking that, well, all these other people have that, so like there's not enough for me. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. And I could think there's a million other psychics out there. So what's special about me? You stop trying to be somebody else and just be you, and be the most amazing you can be. Carbon copies are never as good as the original. So don't try to be like somebody else. Just be like you. Hi, Awkward Zelda. Okay. So that was Ekra. EC, what was your question? Or did I just answer? Sometimes when names are similar-ish or whatever, my brain doesn't filter them right. Oh, okay, EC. Any advice? Let me do this. Any advice on where to look for a job position? Currently a phone triage RN that has a slightly more flexible schedule. I like phone triage. I don't like unnecessarily rigid schedule. Like, me neither. Do you know what's really funny? I saw the other day, and this popped up, like, where I was like, oh, you should look at that. And I don't know if you're a pediatrics, so I don't know if this fits. Have you ever thought of substituting as an RN for a school district? Because that is not strict scheduling. I mean, it's not guaranteed hours, and I don't know exactly how to do it, but it'd be like extra money, and then you could be like, oh, I can't work today. That's one. I don't know why that popped in my head, like immediately when I was like, oh, that's something. I saw that the other day. I was like, oh, that's something I could do too. It also feels like just picking up per diem somewhere, but I don't know that they have like, like something with working with an insurance company is sort of the way I'm like looking at it. Is like, it feels like doing something with that, but you're more working from home. And so you're not necessarily scheduled to like have to be working these specific hours, but you're able to do the work. Like it might be reviewing cases or something. That's more about your boss, like being a micromanager. So it feels like working for something more what you wouldn't traditionally think of doing as like, because when you go into school, you don't necessarily think like, oh, I could substitute working for a school district. You could even potentially do 2 different school districts. So like if it's like New Jersey, is where each town is like right near each other. So it'd be easy to be like on file with 2 different districts. Like I can work here and here. So then that way, if one doesn't need somebody, then the other one has one. I keep getting pulled to this like insurance company kind of thing, or where it's like working for, it feels like working from home. It doesn't feel like I'm going in somewhere. So that's where it offers you the flexibility. So it's either like working for an insurance company, or maybe even collecting data for some kind of pharmaceutical company or something, but it just feels like I can do this from home. I'm not having to go into an office. And so I get to sort of set my hours a little bit differently. That's what I feel like. I don't feel like I'm working in an office. I feel like I'm working from home somehow and collecting the thing. I know somebody who did something like this, and she's working from home. And so but I don't remember exactly the type of company she said it was. I heard 3 months, but I also feel like something opens up before then, but I get something about 3 months. So maybe there's some training within it that you're actually working and getting the money, that it's not just like that there's some, there's a learning curve to it. But I feel quickly like it's not something that's not there. And the school district, you can just go online and look what's around you right now. But 3 months for the other part. You may even be doing a couple different things. Hello, Taylor. So I have Tabitha W. Are you here? And Caitlin. Where are you, Caitlin? I thought I saw you on here. Yeah, probably November. Caitlin, are you still here? Oh, here you are. Okay. I would like to know if my ex Corey still loves me, and I want to know if it's possible that he will return soon. So, okay. And then what's your, okay, so, all right, Caitlin. What is your ex's first name? Did you say it there? Let me go back. Sorry. Sometimes when I read things, it doesn't register. Corey. You said it. I didn't. Okay, let me say it. Let me write it down here. Corey. Readings are not free. I had to set prices on them, and I donate 30% of the money because people would come on here and they would be really quite demanding. And I'm like, you missed me. But they'd like write 50 questions in the first minute of the thing. And it was just insane. So I changed it and I'm much happier. All right. Lightning Spark paid for one. And Marlene, which is not Marlene's real name. What's Marlene's real name? Hey. I think that's Marlene. Okay. Yeah. It's all about setting boundaries. So when do I go live? Every Sunday at 4 p.m. Okay. So Caitlin with Mr. Corey. You're going to get a lecture on, first of all, on manifesting, because it's really like mindset is everything. So the feeling I get is that Corey's not extremely emotionally available. Like, I just feel like he's really shut off from his own emotions. And so it was always sort of like a push-pull relationship, and feeling like I never really knew where I stood with him. That's me sitting in your energy when I speak that way. He feels rather disconnected. I feel like he cares about you as a person, in the sense that like he wouldn't want anything, like wants you to have good things, but I don't feel the love thing. That said, do you believe in manifesting, before I go into this whole long spiel? Are you here? Caitlin, are you here? Guys, if you can't, I'm going to answer this, but honestly, oh, good. Okay. Okay. So you somewhat do. Okay. So if you go on Dylan James's channel, and I'm going to have mine up finally, I think I'm going to have time this week to record my stuff and get it up. I recorded it once, and the sound wasn't quite right. And I'm a bit like, whatever. I could have just like thrown it up and gone with it, but I wanted it right. And I also think there was a delay in it because I realized there's some other affirmations that I want to put in there for organization and mental clarity and focus and all of that stuff. And memory. Anyhow, so Dylan James, and again, lots of other teachers along over time have, and I listed them already, have really taught about this stuff. And it's if you believe it, then you can achieve it, right? So if you believe that you are valuable and worthy and all of those things, then you bring the things in. It doesn't mean you can't manifest without feeling worthy or valuable or anything else. You can manifest all day long. But the problem is when you don't believe you deserve it at a core level, you don't believe you're worthy or valuable or that you deserve to have this thing in your life, you will always inevitably lose it or push it away. It just happens. Or if you have a core belief that good things never last, then they won't. So you have to sort of go in and reprogram your core beliefs. And Dylan talks about this a lot, and he sort of focuses on that. And you'll see why I like his, because he's a big enough following that he has enough people, and he posts them where it's success stories. So it's like, oh, I had no contact and they told me they hated me and they never wanted to be with me again, but I've just been focusing on me and how valuable I am, and they're back in my life. And the thing is that even if they come back in your life, if you haven't reprogrammed those core beliefs about your worthiness and your value and what you deserve in life and how amazing you are, then when something comes up that triggers you, oh my God, like they don't text you right away, or they don't respond in the way that you would hope that they would, because you can't control somebody, then you go to this fear of like, oh my God, I'm pushing them away. Oh my God. Or if they're like talking to another girl, you're like, oh my God, they don't love me anymore. They just, right? So then you end up pushing them away again. But if you know how to go back to the like, okay, that triggered me. I'm concerned. It's okay. I'm valuable. I'm worthy. I get all the desires that I want. I create the love within me. I am lovable. I am desirable, blah, 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 blah. I am chosen. If you do all of those, then like you create a healthier relationship, and you create a situation where you sit in this energy that's makes you desirable and all of those things. So you keep them there. And it's not about this like idea of like no contact. So I'm going to purposely not contact them. It's like, no, you sort of start focusing on yourself and like all the things that you can do in your life to keep yourself busy. So it may be no contact, but it's not really, because it's like you don't feel the need to like try and coax them into being with you, because you're like, whatever, they'll come to me whenever, because I know this is mine. I know this is the universe has to bring me what I want. I know that I create this, and I know that I'm a badass, so I'm not worried about them. I know that they're attracted to me, kind of thing, because I'm lovable, I'm likable, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm smart, la 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 la, all of those good things. So that's why I like him, because he's also got like all the examples of people going, this works, this works, this works. It works. It works, it works, it works, it works. So it's like, stop hyper focusing on the fact that you weren't enough, or you weren't this, or you weren't that, or like, oh, am I good enough for them? Like, also, are they good enough for you? Like, start focusing on that. Like, is he really good enough for me? It's not to say that he didn't love you. I just don't feel like he's there now. Doesn't mean he can't fall in love with you again. Okay? Do you love you? If you are whole and complete on your own, all of that is just fluff. It's just extra. I choose to want to hang out with you. I choose to let you in to experience my amazing journey with me. I choose to want to share my experiences with you, but I don't need you to still have good and amazing experiences. So that's where I'm at with that. I just feel like it feels like really shifting your mindset and your core values, and knowing that you're worthy and amazing and deserve to have all of the desires that you want. The universe is going to show up and give to you what you want. What you desire. You always get it. Like, you're always manifesting whether you realize you're doing it or not. Just manifest consciously and in the direction that you want to move, so you can enjoy this amazing human experience and all the magic and wonderment that there is. So check out Dylan James. He's awesome. I might do some more manifesting stuff. I think especially once school starts, I'll have a little bit more time to kind of hide away by myself. I won't feel like I'm neglecting my children. Yeah. If you say he'll never come back, then he never will. Stop focusing on him and focus on you. And then you'll see. And go to Dylan James' channel and go to his Instagram, because he has a ton of examples of all these people being like, oh, like we were in no contact. I saw one for like years and the person contacted them. So everything is possible. Circumstances do not matter. Just get that in your head. Literally, like, nope, this is what I want. This is how I see it. This is how it's happening. I'm not worried about it. It's done. Circumstances do not matter. And it's true. Circumstances do not matter. And one example of that is me going to nursing school. So I started out school at UW Eau Claire for nursing. And then I was like, I do not want to study like this. I want to have fun. So I went into healthcare administration. And it was an easy major. And I was in an MIS class. I was a semester out from starting my year-long internship. Then I would have been able to run a nursing home. And then I would have had to go back to more school in order to do hospital administration. And I was like sitting there driving home from my MIS class, Management Information Systems, one of my business classes. And I heard a booming voice in my right ear while I was sitting in the car by myself say, you are going to go to nursing school and you're going to go to the tech. And like to have to go to a technical school and get your associate's degree was like so much shame surrounded that, where I had to my mother did not think I was actual registered nurse. She thought I was an LPN or an LVN or something for a long time. And I'm like, no, I really am an RN. I just have my AGN. And so this was like in July of that summer, and classes started in August for the tech. So I got all of my transcripts and I went over to the tech, because when you hear a voice outside of your head, you listen, because you weren't listening to the quieter things that the universe was telling you to go do this. And I went over to the tech and they were like, okay, well, if you pass these tests. And I was like, yeah, when I pass, when does school start? And it was like, there was no doubt in my mind that these things were going to fall into place. And I remember around graduation time then, like a year and a half or 2 years later, year and a half later, because I had a lot of college credits that transferred. One of my peers that I graduated with was like, how did you even get into the nursing program? There was a wait list. And I was like, I don't know, just happened. Circumstances do not matter, is what I'm telling you. So stop looking at it as your human mind and your limited human mind. Don't worry about it. The universe can make anything happen. I feel that he will return as soon as you start focusing on yourself. Like, it's literally like, as soon as I get into focusing on myself, listen to his affirmation things as you sleep. I'm going to put out some affirmation things. I'm doing it. It's done. So you can have a different voice to listen to if you want, but, and I'm not charging for them. It's just whatever. Listen to them, do the work on yourself and your mindset and your own belief systems and your I ams, because whatever follows I am has to be. So if you're like, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not funny enough, or whatever, then that's what's going to show up for you. The screenplay is written in here, in your temple, where you go to talk to God, and it has to be performed on the play of life right out here. So focus on that. Go big, okay? And then we're gonna make your payments quickly. We're gonna go ahead and close the list pretty soon, because I've got a lot on my plate today. So Zelda app is paid for one after Marlene. Can you, Zelda, would you mind, okay, wait, let's see. Tell me the name of the coworker and the name of the friend. I like first names. They really help me out. And then Lightning Spark, hey, are you here? You're welcome, Caitlin. And I don't feel like it's that far off, actually. I feel like within 5 to 6 months, and I actually feel like you may not even be that interested in him once you've done the work. But 5 to 6 months. And he'll show up the way he should show up, deserving and respectful and all of that stuff. Okay. Coworker is Saul and friend is Seth. Wow. Look at you with your Bible boys. Sorry. Um, okay. Okay. Lightning Spark wants to know about why Evelyn asked. Sorry, I'm just trying to find you, Lightning Spark. Why did Evelyn ask Diana about me? It feels more gossipy. Like, it doesn't feel like a love interest. It just feels like always trying to size myself up, always trying to figure out where I am at in the pecking order. There's like a weird power control issue with her. Does that resonate? Yeah, so it's like a gossipy, that's what I said, like it doesn't feel about love. It feels like a gossipy, control-y thing. I wouldn't worry about it. It's like you've got the upper hand, just kind of move on with it and just focus on you. I wouldn't even worry about it. She just feels kind of gossipy, like not stalkerish. So then just don't allow it. So that's the thing, is like you can't control whether or not she tries, but you can control what you allow in your life. So it doesn't seem like, don't waste your time worrying about it and focusing on it. I've had enough people where I'm like, ugh, I don't want them in my life anymore. And it's like, you can't control whether or not they're trying, but you can keep them blocked and just ignore it and keep moving through your life. You don't have, some people are just not happy beings. Have you specifically said to her, and I'm very serious about this, I no longer want any contact with you. Don't ever contact me again. And put it in writing. So, but I don't feel like she will. It feels more like, trying to feel out whether or not she's welcome or not. So my advice to you is be bold. If she contacts you again, is to say, I don't want any further contact with you. Don't ever contact me again, and put it in writing and keep a record of it. Because anybody who does that and then continues to contact you, it's now goes into the category of being harassment, and you can file a restraining order. And yes, I know these things. So, you do have, but you have to put it in writing, and you have to be very clear about it in that specific sentence. Do not ever contact me again. So if she tries to contact you, I know it's like, oh, I don't want to say anything. You need to be very clear about your boundary and state it very clearly in those terms. Sucks, but 'tis true. So I will leave it at that. You can keep blocking her, but if they try to contact you and you're concerned about that, that's my from a legal standpoint, that is and I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a person who's had to deal with stuff. So, but everything I've understood is that you have to put it in writing and you have to state it very clearly like that. And it doesn't have to be emotional, and doesn't have to be like, you did this. It's just like, I no longer want to have contact with you. Don't ever contact me again. You can say please if you want, but there's no need to. Even so, she can send a letter. You don't have to go and visit somebody. But my feeling is not that about apology. It was sort of like feeling out if they're welcome back in your life. There's a little manipulation going on there. there's no need to, you don't owe me an explanation for somebody. Obviously, there's nobody is all bad and nobody is all good. We all are somewhere in the gray area, and you don't have to justify or feel like you need to excuse somebody. Like, I blocked them. Okay, that's fine. I don't automatically think, oh, they're evil and crazy. Just like we all have our reasons for no longer wanting somebody in our life. Obviously, there was some feelings of connection with that person if they were a part of your life at a point, but it doesn't mean that you need to maintain connection. Okay. Moving on. Hey, are you here? I think I saw yours on here. And then Zelda. Hey, I saw my later. What is your sister's name? Hey. And then Zelda. And then I think, is the list closed? Did we close the list? I'd like the list closed. Oh, Zelda, I've got your question here. Okay, Saul and Seth. And then I think the list will be closed for today. Oh, okay. Awkwards, did you say you paid? Hi, Emily. Jaylene. Someone said that they paid, but it was fine if they didn't do it this week. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Awkward Zelda. That's you. Okay, I got it. So that was you. Okay. I don't know why this wasn't like. Okay, I gotcha. Okay. Okay. Hey. So your sister's name is Jaylene, and you went to your uncle's kids 2 days ago. So it feels like learning to set really super clear boundaries with your sister, and also recognizing the feeling I get is she's the type of person who always wants to be seen as the best, the nicest, the best, like whatever. It's like, we're the closest friends. They love me the most. Like there's a lot of weird competition. Does that resonate? Like if she can't somehow be the star of the show, then she creates drama. Yeah. So that seems to be the issue. So it feels like you have to set really, really clear boundaries. And you also have to like sort of emotionally pull back with her and not allow her behavior to affect you emotionally and recognize that's her issues and not yours. And then it also feels like you may have to see your late uncle's kids without her around and set up plans without her there, and make those plans on your own. And you will probably get kickback, and it's like, well, ignore it. Just say, this is just what worked for me and I really wanted to see them, and like, don't worry about her being upset or being angry. That's what I feel like. I'm seeing somebody in my family who I find to be similar to this behavior. And it's sort of like you sort of do have to remove yourself and recognize that like there is manipulation going on. There is a lot of insecurity going on. And you got to do you know what I mean? And not feel guilty about setting boundaries and being like, this is what I'm doing. And like, you do your own thing. Albert Grass. Scold you. I did. I was going to not do your reading and return your thing because that's where I'm at. Like, if you can't be here for the live, so we'll put you on the list. I'll do yours last. I'll put you back on the list. But if you can't be present for the lives, I don't want to do your questions anymore. And it's nothing personal. It's just it becomes like a gigantic time suck. And I sort of like having the interaction with you guys. That's why I do them live instead of just taking your questions and reading them and taping them. Joe's Mystics. All right, you're going to be the last one. We're closed. Don't send me anymore. Okay, fine. So that's hey, that's done. All right, Miss Zelda. Awkward Zelda. Yours is about Saul and Seth. You'd be fine with either. Well, why settle? Do you think you'll choose? Those names are so similar. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to go with personality thing that I'm picking up. So I feel like they're both kind of funny or whatever. Saul is more animated. Seth is a bit more focused. Does this resonate when I say these two things? I don't think you're going to play them. I don't think it's like that at all. But do these personalities resonate? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to look at it a little differently than what you're saying. So I'm going to look at it as like, who would be the best choice for you? And my sense is like, so if you were to date Saul, the feeling is that it would be fun up front, but you would get really tired really quickly and feel like it wasn't serious enough. And it wasn't like emotionally fulfilling enough. Seth, I feel like, is a harder nut to crack and a bit more emotionally reserved, but more mature and will grow more and be open to being more I don't know, it's not spiritually aware. It's more like self-aware. That said, I'm not sure you're going to end up with either one of them long term. It feels like more of a promising relationship with Seth over Saul. Like it feels more emotionally stable and like it's not as like fun and goofy, but it feels more emotionally stable and fulfilling. So I will say that. I hope that's to your satisfaction. Okay. No, I'm no longer taking questions for this evening. But come back next week. Sorry, I was just wanting to make sure. That I wasn't missing something from one of the other people. Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you for understanding. I'll be back next Sunday. Albert and Joe's Mystics. You guys are up in your last, and then we're done. Okie doke. Tabitha W., are you here? One last time. Tabitha W., are you here? I will refund your money if not. I am. It's nice to see you, Albert. Okay, let's see, Renee. I get right away, yes, it is. And I feel like lots of growth comes from this and opens you up in ways that you could have never imagined. I feel like exploring the world and being more just learning a ton about the world and about yourself and your connections. I do feel like it's a long-term relationship, but I don't know if it's a lifetime relationship, but I do feel long-term. And I feel like so much growth comes from it and so much happiness comes from it and so much an awareness of yourself. So it feels like green lights all the way. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have bumps in the road or learning new ways of communication and learning how, like, much more about how you communicate, or that, things don't come up where you find you have shortcomings, but that again forces you to grow. Is Renee really, like, I just felt really creative. It's like that idea in movies where it's like, I was a really, business-minded, kind of like in the box kind of thinker. And then that person meets like the artist and like sees the world in a whole new way. Like, that's the feeling I got, is seeing the world in a whole new way. Okay. So I can't wait to hear more about it. Don't be a stranger, Albert. Joe's Mystics. What would you like to know? Tabitha W., are you here? You have a good one too. What's your ex's name? Do you mind giving me a first name? That would be very, very, very helpful for me. And I want to see if Tabitha happened to write her question here. Nope. Well, I can't answer a question if you're not here. Oh, Devontae. Okay, thank you. Oh, your ex name is Chance. I'm like, give it. Okay. This is why I need to focus more. Okay, wait, let me look at this again. Should I give my ex Chance? Okay, another shot, or should I continue with Devontae? Okay, so my sense is that with Chance, what you got was you had a relationship that was like really like fiery and lots of emotion and lots of drama, and like it was like very passionate, right? But also like sort of what they call trauma bonding, like this big like push pull, like fighting, like, but when it was good, it was really good, but when it was bad, it was really fucking bad. And so the senses that I get is that like Devontae, the relationship with Devontae is much more even keel and calm. And so you're like, oh, it's like, maybe this isn't real love because it's not all this fire and like craziness and passion, but it's like Devontae is like structure and about stability and like genuine connection, and feels like where that's actually where the longer lasting relationship is. And I actually feel like Chance is coming back as like a love bombing kind of thing, part of the cycle that happens. So it feels like you could give Chance a chance, but it feels like you're going to be sucked back into that cycle and that emotional thing where you don't have stability. So hang in there with Devontae and then work on yourself. Yeah, I feel like Chance is like love bombing you. So it just feels like hang in there with Devontae and work on yourself, work on your self-image and your worthiness, that you're stable, you're secure, you love, you create love within you. Go watch the Jill and James stuff, because I think that will really help you in your growth. That you have clear communication, that you're always received well. And then like when you feel like, oh, is this boring? Is this not it? It just feels like when you are used to chaos, boring feels really scary. And it feels like maybe this isn't real. It's real. It's the real deal. And he's very emotionally stable, and I feel like has done a lot of work. So count your blessings and do your work yourself. Okay. Alrighty, my friends. I'm going to say good night, adieu. It's been an hour and a half. I hope you're all doing well. If you are not subscribed here, please like, please subscribe, share me with your friends and all of that good stuff. Get a private reading. It's a lot more than this. Join my psychic circles, look for them, the psychic development circles. They will start again. The new psychic circles will start again in September. I hope you enjoy your week, and I will see you next Sunday. Have a good one. KK, thank you, thank you, thank you.